you guys played pretty good against Cleveland. Do you think that I guess only winning would term it a success, but being without those coaches, especially Todd, looking back on it, how do you think the guys on defense came through that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was a challenging week. Not even just Todd, but not having any coaches at practice on the defensive side of the ball all week, being able to kind of work the older guys at each position, kind of lead the position through the practice, keep the expectations high, keep the work tempo high. Then obviously on game day we had a couple coaches, Joe Dana calling the plays, but it was a skeleton crew at best. And I think obviously not getting a win, that's what you're in this league to do, is get the wins. You put all the work in to get a win on the field on Sundays. But the way that we did play, obviously we have to clean some things up with explosive plays and accountability and certain and just gap accountability. That's what some of those run plays in the second half got through. But in spite of all that, I do think, given the challenges that hit the defense last week, that a lot of guys stepped up and played to the best of their abilities, and it was good to see.
And from a standpoint of organization, as good as it could be, the week of practice and then the game preparation and the actual game itself, was everything pretty smooth as far as getting calls out, communicating with the booth, whatever needed to get done to was the organizational part of it good?
Yeah, I think everything went smoothly. I mean, in practice, Coach Marone he had the script, was calling the plays. He didn't know what the plays meant, but he was calling them. And then on Sundays, I had a good communication with Coach Dan upstairs, and we had people like our football ops guy, Tyler Wolf, was upstairs counting the personnel, giving us, making sure we knew what the other team's personnel was in the game the whole time. And I can't remember. I think there was one time when they came out with 2 running backs that we had the wrong personnel initially, but everything went smoothly from that aspect, and it was a team effort right there, I'd say.
Okay, thank you, Joe.
You got it.
Thanks, Gary. Let's do Cassidy and then Demetrius.
Hey, Joe. How's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Sorry. Minnesota is supposed to get Thielen back for Sunday. Just how much does he change the game when he's out there? And subsequently, Justin Jefferson as well. What kind of impact has he been able to have just right away?
Yeah, I mean, I played against Minnesota a couple of years ago against Thielen, and when Diggs was there, and I think they're both, when Thielen and Jefferson kind of have the same feel as when it was Thielen and Stephon Diggs, and they're very good route runners. They have the top end speed to be able to take it over the top, and they got hands to make the contested catches. I think they're both 2 of the top guys at their positions for sure in the league. I think Thielen might be leading the league in touchdowns, or he's close to it, even with missing game or a couple games. But he provides, I think, a safety blanket, a security blanket for Cousins when he knows he can throw it up to those guys that can go up and make some plays and make some contested catches. And we really got to bring our A game to be able to challenge those.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks, Cassidy. Let's go to Demetrius and then John Reed.
Hey, Joe, you guys played a couple good rushers last week in Hunt and Chubb. This week you're going against Dalvin Cook. What does he sort of present in terms of a rusher, in terms of the challenges that he presents to you guys?
Yeah, I think he might be one of the most explosive backs in the NFL, just in terms of when he gets to the open field, his speed, he can take it the distance, and he couples that with great vision, and he's got enough power to break some arm tackles, break some tackles, and get out into space. But I think he's probably one of the most dangerous running backs in space. Obviously, there's a couple of guys around the league come to mind, like McCaffrey when he's fully healthy, Jones from Green Bay, who we played a couple weeks ago. But I think Cook's right up there, if not at the top of the list with his production this year in terms of being able to make space plays, make his feet and his speed count when he gets outside the tackle box.
What is it sort of going to take you guys to slow him down a little bit?
I think, he's a different runner than, I'd say, Derrick Henry from Tennessee, obviously, the 2 totally different body types. But I think the philosophy should be kind of the same, where you got to stop him before he can get going, bottle him up, where he can't get out into the open field, make people miss in space. If you're able to contain him inside the box and get hits on him before he gets going, I think that's the best way to be able to stop him. I think that's what we were doing versus Henry earlier this year, and we had a good game against him. So if we're able to replicate that, I think that could be a formula for success for us.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks, Demetrius. Let's go to John Reed, and then we'll finish with D-Rock.
How you doing, man? I just want to ask you, just what would it feel to get a win after 10 weeks of losing
Yeah, I mean that's as an athlete, as a competitor, that's what you play the game for, is to get wins in your game, whenever that game may be against whoever it may be. And that's what we put all the time and effort in. And I think the NFL is just, when you hit a slide like this, it's tough because you're working every day during the week, putting all the time and watching the film, studying, getting game plans ready, understanding what you need to do to win the game. And I think especially in our situation, we've had so many close games that it's just a couple plays here and there. If we could have just flipped our way, get a win, it would have been so much better. So I think we've been in games, and if we're able to get a win, it would just go a long way. I think just for the whole overall morale of the whole locker room. I mean, guys are bought in, working hard, playing hard, but a win always feels great.
And just a follow up, do you feel you guys are playing to help Coach Marone with his job situation? I mean, did that ever come up as a team or what?
I wouldn't say it's come up in that aspect. Everybody in the NFL understands how the NFL is. It's a results now league. You don't get time to recover from mistakes. Normally, it's you either get results or you move on to the next person. That's players, coaches, front office, not owners, obviously, but everybody down from the ownership box. And it's a quick turnover league. And you understand if you're not winning that everybody's jobs are at stake. And I think so. I mean, from the bottom of the top and from the top down, everybody understands that and is working hard just for the man next to him, because there is a sense of camaraderie in the locker room between the coaches and the players. I mean, people genuinely do like each other and want the best for their teammates or their coaches. So I think you see that on Sundays, people are going out and playing hard, doing their best. There's been a lot of mitigating circumstances this year that have affected us negatively, but at the end of the day, I don't think the effort or want to has done that.
I'll break a record here. I'm gonna use that and ask 3 questions. Were you guys surprised that that decision was made after that game Sunday with Caldwell as a team?
I mean, it's always a little shocking when it happens, but just looking back in the history of teams I've played on, other places, it's kind of in line with, the NFL. If something's not going right, they're going to try to make a change with whoever it may be. And I think obviously I'm not in the owner's box. Those decisions are above my pay grade. But coming from my level, it was a little bit of a surprise. Obviously, with the whole COVID thing, I spoke to him briefly a few times this season, but I didn't really get to know him very well. So it's kind of weird, just a weird situation. But it caught me by surprise a little bit, yeah.
Thank you, man. Sorry for bombarding you with all that. Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks, John. All right, let's finish up with D-Rock.
Hey, Joe, in regards to James Robinson, it seems like despite the fact that he's a pretty big back, that he doesn't really give defenders much to get a hold of in terms of being able to deliver a big shot on him. Is that the way you see it as well?
Yeah, I mean, he's a big back. He's a big body guy. I think he's like short. He's not Maurice Jones-Drew in terms of short, stocky, but he does have some weight behind his pads, and he knows how to use it. And I think he does a good job of understanding where defenders are going to try to tackle him, and then being able to be elusive to get away from that. You see him hurdling people. You see him stepping over tackles, stiff arming, ducking under guys. But at the end of the day, also you see him put his head down and run behind his pads and grind out a couple extra yards at the end of runs all the time. So I think that physicality starts the whole thing when defenders know they got to really bring it. That's when you can start making some juke moves and be able to get them off balance and make a miss. And he does that exceptionally well.
Is that what guys were talking about at the beginning of the year when everyone raved about his vision, that kind of stuff?
I'm assuming so. I mean, he caught me by surprise. I think coming just into the season, because training camp. You see like people work hard, people make plays in training camp, but then when you actually get to the games, that stuff usually falls off. And I think he just took it to another step. Not saying he's a gamer, because he practices very well too, but you don't see a lot of that stuff other when people are actually, there's live bullets flying, there's contact, people are trying to take you down. Like that doesn't happen very often in training camp. Just a couple of times. But when that actually starts going on game day, and he was able to just break tackles, keep running, I think he took everybody by surprise how well he was able to step up to the plate.
Thank you, Joe.
You got it.
Thanks, D-Rock. And thanks, Joe. You're all finished.
Thanks. Have a good one.
You do. All Go for it.
Jarrod, what it means to you, my man, to be nominated for that Bart Star Award, man?
Just really appreciative. Really just gave glory to God first and foremost, just for the ability to be in this position right now, and I'm just thankful. Don't really want to toot my own horn or nothing like that, but yeah, I'm just thankful and always willing to just give back in any way I can. So I'm just appreciative of the nomination.
Do you remember when Calais won the award like in 2018? I mean,
I actually do. I just was talking about it not too long ago. Really big award, and it's just an honor, just to be represented. To be represented both on and off the field, just in a positive light. So pretty good.
Just got one more question to ask you, my man. You being a veteran and one of the leaders of the team, how difficult has it been to go through 10 weeks and not win a game and continue to work as hard as you guys have worked?
It's definitely difficult. I mean, it's frustrations each and every week when you don't get the outcome you want at the end of the week, which is a win. So it's definitely frustrating, but we're a 1-10 ball club, and you can't hang your head or nothing about that. It's not like we're going to line up Sunday to lose. We still got 5 more opportunities, and expecting just to keep chugging and try to get a victory this Sunday. So it doesn't really matter the record at this point. It's kind of still line up, and we got 5 more opportunities to get better. So let's get it.
Thank you, man. Congrats.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. All right, let's go to Cassidy.
Sorry, I wasn't quite ready. 2 things real quick, Jarrod. Kind of building off of that, Sheldon Richardson said on Sunday, he said this is a pretty good squad. Talking about Jacksonville, I don't know how their record is what it is. What do you think is that missing piece?
It's really just putting it all together in all 3 phases. Honestly, probably offense, defense, and special teams. Got to click on one accord, and I think the margin of error in general is real small and within the league. It doesn't matter, again, if you're 1-10 or if you're 10-1. So it's really just the little things and honing in and understanding how to finish a game. You don't have to be the most talented team to win a ball game in this league. I feel like we do have a lot of talent, but we just have to put it all together, even though we have, younger guys on the team, and the team has battled a ton of injuries. So just trying to put it all together week to week and try to get a W. So the missing piece would really just to be finished, I would say. Got to finish throughout the week. We do an excellent job practicing throughout the week. So just got to translate to Sunday and getting a W.
And then Minnesota should be getting Thielen back on Sunday. What sort of impact does he, and especially he and Justin Jefferson together, have?
Yeah, really, really, really good receivers. They're top 2 targets. I know 19 will be coming off COVID list, and he's a really excellent receiver. Can take the top off, can run every single route, short, intermediate. So it's really just on us in the back end with the passing yards or whatnot to stop him from getting explosive plays and getting the ball thrown over our head. But he definitely does get an offensive boost for him being back this week.
Thanks, Jarrod, and congrats on the nomination.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
All right, that looks like the last question, unless anyone needs to jump in. I'm going to give you 3 seconds, and if not, we're going to let Jarrod go. All right, cool. Thanks so much for your time, Jarrod. Really appreciate it.
Thank y'all. Appreciate it.